are cracks appearing in Russia-China ties after the People's Liberation Army's border skirmishes with India, and an espionage case involving a senior Russian official. Moscow is Beijing's most important de facto ally as both face a more belligerent Washington. Chinese President Xi Jinping has enjoyed tight ties with his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin as both authoritarian leaders seek to stay in power and advance their geostrategic interests. Yet the suspicious suspension of Moscow's shipment of its S-400 Triumph mobile air defense missile systems since at least February may signal a breakdown in the camaraderie. Chinese news portals including NetEase and Sohu have reported a delay in the delivery of S-400 mobile missiles to the Chinese military. They cited the Chinese Defense Ministry and Beijing's Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary to Moscow Zhang Hanhui as blaming the COVID-19 epidemic for the delay. Chinese state media has maintained that China-Russia military ties and arms deals will remain impervious to the global pandemic and the West's supposed plot to sow dissension. S-400 anti-aircraft missiles, known for having the longest range of their kind worldwide, have figured large in Beijing's big-ticket Russian arms deals. The S-400 is reportedly able to engage 36 targets simultaneously. That capability would be crucial as Beijing seeks to ramp up military pressure on Taiwan's Pacific-facing littoral waters from the mainland's southeast and Fujian province. In 2014, Beijing became the first foreign buyer of the hypersonic S-400 that was then offered at US $300 million per launch unit. The system's long range would allow the plot to target Taiwan proper as well as its fighter jets including F-16s deployed along the island's Pacific coast. Beijing's acquisition of the S-400, initially consisting of 6 batteries, also allows the PLA to cover the disputed Senkaku Islands, Akutyayu, from its northern province of Shandong. Japan also claims the islands. In 2018, the PLA successfully launched and hit a supersonic target projectile with the S-400 during a drill in China's far west. NetEase reported that Beijing has expressed its understanding after the S-400 production by Fakal Machine Building Design Bureau was hobbled by COVID-19 outbreaks in Russia. Yet the coronavirus may not be the only factor jamming the gears of the high-stakes military cooperation between the two nations. A union-busting espionage case involving China and Russia was recently revealed by Indian news agency ANI. It claimed that Russia's FSB NAP Valery Mitko, director of a social science institute in St. Petersburg affiliated with the Russian government, in February on grounds of treason. Charges leveled at Mitko include feeding Chinese agents intelligence about Russian sonar and submarine detection technologies, while he was a visiting scholar at the Dalian Maritime University in northeastern China back in 2016. Hong Kong's Mingpao Daily also cited sources within China that Beijing's embassy in Moscow had a dedicated office guiding the regiment of Chinese students, visiting scholars and contractors in the county to glean classified information about the Russian military and aerospace and nuclear sectors. Moscow has also reportedly bridled at Beijing's covert copying and drive to ratchet up indigenous research and development of key defense parts and technologies to ease its reliance on Russian products. Chinese orders have long been a lifeline for ailing Russian defense suppliers. The most salient case of Beijing's endeavor is the J-20 fighter. Chengdu Aircraft Industrial Group, manufacturer of the 5th-generation stealth jet, has been trialing homemade engines, including the EMA, that is modeled after a Russian design, to propel the most advanced warplane of the Chinese Air Force. The J-20 previously relied on Russia's Salyut Al-31 turbofan engine to get airborne and break the sound barrier. New Delhi's $2.4 billion shopping list with Moscow includes 21 MiG-29 fighters, 12 Su-30 jets, upgrades to 59 existing MiG-29s as well as more than 200 air-to-air missiles. The big-ticket arms deals have incensed many Chinese netizens, with a tirade of posts on WeChat and Weibo lambasting Russia's perfidious profiteering from China's tensions with India. For now, Chinese state media has opted to play down Moscow's military dealings with New Delhi. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Wang Wenbin said last week that this year's reciprocal state visits by Chinese and Russian leaders would go ahead as scheduled. Rumors are swirling that the Chinese Navy is looking to build a new type of warship. A recently leaked request for proposals, RFP, points to an amphibious assault ship with an electromagnetic aircraft catapult and arresting gear. In a request for proposals posted on July 19 and subsequently leaked on social media, the project is referred to only as Project XX6, but observers have been calling the ship the Type 076. Judging from some of the details included in the RFP, the Type 076 will be much like the Type 075 landing helicopter dock, LHD, of which China has already built two. The Type 075 is a kind of amphibious assault ship, which combines a flight deck for helicopters and vertical takeoff and landing aircraft with docking bays for amphibious landing craft to carry Marines ashore. However, this new kind of LHD would have an electromagnetic launch system, EMLS, on the flight deck for launching fixed-wing aircraft, too, as well as the associated arresting wires for when they land again. No extant warship has ever used this configuration before. One person even made a potential graphic model of the Type 076, although it is really little more than fan art. Rumors of such a warship design began swirling in online military circles earlier this week. The general consensus seems to be that the Type 076 will likely not be much larger than the Type 075, will use its catapult system to launch combat drones instead of manned jets, and is in general an adaptation for the fact that the People's Liberation Army has no equivalent to the F-35B. The U.S. Navy and the navies of several U.S. allies make use of the short takeoff and vertical landing, STOVL, capabilities of the F-35B, allowing the stealth jet to fly from helicopter carriers. China's next fleet carriers, the Type 002 class ships now under construction, are also widely believed to sport EMLS catapults, which are only used on the U.S. Navy's Ford-class carriers so far. China's naval drone choices as far as drones, the People's Liberation Army Navy plan has several to choose from, including the Gong G11, GJ11, Sharp Sword Stealth Unmanned Combat Air Vehicle, UCAV, that entered service late last year, and several new kinds of helicopter drones. Eliminating its weapons carriage capabilities would probably be necessary to reliably launch it off China's ski-jump-equipped carriers that don't benefit from the catapult's assistance. A configuration without a weapons bay would allow designers to tailor the aircraft's weight, sensor, and fuel load to the ski jump's limitations, Rogaway wrote in September 2019, noting it would be far more impactful as an unarmed spotter than as a strike aircraft. While the Sharp Sword could still be used by the Type 076 in that capacity, the warship's EMLS catapult brings the question of an armed GJ11 back into the picture. The GJ11 is widely believed to have 2 weapons bays, capable of carrying a total of 4,400 pounds of bombs or missiles. Its range is estimated at 4,000 kilometers, 2,485 miles. More recently, what is believed to be a small helicopter drone was spotted on the flight deck of the first Type 075 LHD, which has remained dockside at Shanghai's Hudong-Zhonghua shipyard since it was launched in September 2019. China's Global Times reported earlier this month it could be an AR-500C, but French defense publication East Pendulum speculated it could be a WZ-5B Skyhawk 5. Both are experimental vertical takeoff and landing (VTOL) drones built by China in recent years. Either way, the drone is about half the size of the Z-8 transport helicopter sitting next to it, or just a little smaller than the Z-9, a French Eurocopter AS-365 Dauphin built in China under license. The US already operates a similar VTOL drone, the MQ-8 Fire Scout, which is now deployed on its littoral combat ships as a spotter. Don't forget, like the video please, share and subscribe.